Listen me. Do you have this wheat penny? It's currently valued at a record $460,000 today. What I'm about to show you could already be sitting in your pocket, your drawer, or your old coin jar, and you're about to lose it forever. Welcome back to Wheat Pennies in Circulation, and today we're exposing the top 3 most valuable wheat pennies that people are accidentally spending every single day. I'm not talking about pocket change, I'm talking about hidden wealth, a silent fortune, coins collectors are secretly hunting and fighting over right now. Do not spend these coins. Check your pocket now, check your house, because these old coins are a big treasure and nobody talks about this. Each coin we reveal gets rarer, more shocking, and more dangerous to ignore. And if you skip even 1 second, you might miss the exact detail that could change everything for you. Now imagine this, a coin that looks worn, slightly dark, maybe even ignored because of its black spots, tossed around for decades, passed from hand to hand like it means nothing, but in reality, it's a quiet piece of history holding a life-changing opportunity. This is the 1956D wheat penny, and if you're not paying attention, you could spend a fortune without even realizing it. Back in 1956, the United States was moving through a powerful post-war shift. Industry was booming, money was flowing, and people weren't thinking about saving coins. They were spending fast. That pressure, that speed, that constant circulation created something dangerous. Coins that were used heavily, handled roughly, and rarely preserved. And right there, in the Denver Mint, the D mint mark, quietly stamped into this penny, tells a story of mass production under pressure, but also something more rare than people realize today. This coin carries the iconic face of Abraham Lincoln on the front. Calm, strong, almost watching you, with "In God We Trust" above, liberty to the side, and that small but powerful date, 1956, stamped into history. Flip it over, and you see those 2 wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. Simple, ordinary, easy to ignore. And that's exactly why people lose it. Because what collectors see is not what the average person sees. This coin was made from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it that classic rich feel, that solid weight of about 3.11 grams. Hold it in your hand and it feels real, dense, almost heavier than it should be for something so small. The diameter sits around 19 millimeters, perfectly round, with a thickness that gives it a firm, slightly raised edge you can feel with your fingers. This isn't just a coin, it's a physical piece of time. But here's where things start to shift. And you need to stay with me because this detail changes everything. Most of these coins didn't survive in this condition. They were worn down, scratched, cleaned, destroyed by time and careless hands. But the one we're talking about, extra fine condition, with those dark black spots across the surface, that's not damage in the way you think. That's age. That's natural toning. That's proof this coin has lived and survived, and survival is where the real money begins. Collectors don't want shiny, over-cleaned coins. They want originality. They want untouched surfaces, even if it looks dark, even if it looks aged. Because once someone cleans this coin, it's over. Value destroyed. Silent fortune gone in seconds. Do not spend this coin. And whatever you do, never clean it. That black and slightly antique look, that's what serious collectors obsess over. They look closely at the mint mark, the sharpness of Lincoln's features, the edges of the wheat stalks, the texture of the fields. Tiny details. Details most people never even notice. But those details are exactly why collectors are quietly bidding against each other in auctions, pushing the value higher and higher without making noise. Because this is not fiction. This coin, right now, in today's market, has reached around $270,100 in the United States. Let that sink in. A penny. A coin people throw into jars, worth serious money. Worth life-changing wealth. This coin is a treasure. And if you have it, you're holding a fortune. And here's the truth most people don't understand. Collectors are not selling these. They're holding, waiting, because demand is rising and supply is disappearing. Every year, fewer of these survive in original condition. Every year, more are lost forever. So what should you do? You need to slow down and actually look at your coins. Check the date. Look for that D mint mark. Examine the surface. Don't panic if it's dark or spotted. That could be exactly what makes it valuable. And if you think you've found one, don't guess. Get it professionally graded. Because one small detail, one tiny difference, can change everything. And remember this, patience is where the real winners are. The people who hold, who protect, who understand what they have, they're the ones sitting on quiet wealth while everyone else keeps spending it. But listen carefully, because what comes next is even bigger. If you think this 1,956D wheat penny is shocking, the next coin we're about to reveal is rarer, more dangerous to ignore, and carries a level of hidden wealth that almost no one sees coming. Stay with me, because the next one might be the one that truly changes everything. Right now, stop what you're doing and listen closely, because this coin is even more dangerous to ignore than the last one. This is the moment where people either wake up or they lose a silent fortune forever. The 1,953D wheat penny doesn't look special at first glance. In fact, it looks worse, darker, aged, almost like something you'd toss aside without thinking. And that's exactly why people are losing it every single day. This coin came out during a time when America was under quiet pressure. 1,953 wasn't just another year, it was a transition period. The economy was shifting, the Korean War had just ended, and the country was adjusting fast. Mints were pushing production hard, coins were moving quickly through circulation, and preservation was the last thing on anyone's mind. That stress, that heavy use, created coins that lived hard lives. And only a few survived with their story still intact. Now picture this coin in your hand. The front shows Abraham Lincoln, steady and powerful, with "In God We Trust" above him, liberty to the side, and that bold 1,953 date stamped into metal that has seen decades pass by. But it's not just the front that matters. It's the reverse that changes everything. Those wheat stalks on the back, wrapped around 1 cent and United States of America, on this coin, they carry a deep, dark, antique tone. A blackened surface mixed with rusty brown, and even hints of green, a look most people mistake for damage. But collectors, they see something completely different. They see originality. They see untouched history. They see a coin that was never stripped, never cleaned, never destroyed by someone trying to make it look better. That dark, antique reverse, that's not a flaw. That's the fingerprint of time. And that is exactly what serious collectors are hunting. This coin is made from that classic 95% copper alloy, blended with tin and zinc, giving it that unmistakable weight of around 3.11 grams. When you hold it, it feels solid, real, like it carries something important. The diameter sits at about 19 millimeters, perfectly balanced, with a thickness that gives it a firm edge, something you can feel instantly if you know what you're holding. But here's the truth. Most people never notice these details. They spend it without even looking. And that's where fortunes disappear. Because finding one in very fine condition, with that natural dark black, rusty brown, and green toning across both sides, especially with a strong D mint mark from Denver, is not common anymore. These coins were used, abused, dropped, cleaned, and destroyed over decades. Survival like this, it's rare. Quietly rare. And condition. Condition is everything. Very fine doesn't mean perfect. It means real. It means the coin still has strong detail, visible lines in Lincoln's coat, clear wheat stalks, readable text, but it also carries the honest marks of time. That balance, that authenticity, that's what drives collectors into aggressive bidding, sometimes without even speaking. Quiet rooms, serious money, and people who know exactly what they're looking at. This is not fiction. Right now, this 1,953D wheat penny has reached around $320,500 in today's US market. Let that hit you. A coin people ignore, worth life-changing wealth. This is hidden treasure. This is a silent fortune. This coin is special. And if you have it, you're holding something that could change everything. But listen carefully, because this is where most people make the biggest mistake of their lives. Do not spend this coin. And whatever you do, never clean it. The moment you try to fix those dark tones, that antique look, you destroy the very thing that gives it value. Collectors don't want bright and shiny. They want original. They want untouched. That natural aging is what proves the coin's story is real. If you think you've found one, slow down. Check the date carefully. Look for that D mint mark. Study the surface. Those black, brown, and green tones might be exactly what makes it valuable. Don't guess its worth. Get it professionally graded, because one small detail, one tiny difference, can turn an ordinary-looking coin into serious money. And here's what's happening right now behind the scenes. Collectors are holding these. They're not letting them go. Supply is shrinking. Demand is rising. And every year, fewer of these exist in this kind of original condition. That's how quiet wealth builds. Slowly, silently, and then suddenly. So ask yourself, how many of these have already passed through your hands? Because what comes next is on another level completely. If you thought this 1,953D was powerful, the next coin is rarer, more shocking, and carries a level of hidden treasure that most people will never even believe exists. Stay with me, because the final coin is where everything changes. This is it, the moment most people never see coming. The coin that looks the most ordinary, the most ignored, the most easily spent, but secretly holds the biggest shock of all. If you've made it this far, don't look away now, because this is where hidden wealth turns into something real. This is the 1,952D wheat penny, and if you don't recognize it in time, you could lose a life-changing opportunity without even knowing it happened. Picture this, a coin sitting in your hand that looks worn, maybe a little rough, with rusty tones and green spots spreading across both sides. Most people would instantly dismiss it. They'd think it's damaged, old, worthless. They'd spend it without a second thought. And that, right there, is how silent fortunes disappear every single day. Because 1,952 was not just another year. America was deep in a time of economic tension and global pressure. The Korean War was still active, resources were being stretched, and production demands were high. The US Mint, especially in Denver, was pushing out coins fast to keep up with circulation. speed over perfection, volume over preservation. And in that environment, coins like this were born into heavy use from the very beginning. Now look closely at the design. On the front, Abraham Lincoln stands strong, his profile calm but powerful, "Within God we trust." Above, liberty beside him, and that critical date, 1952, pressed into the metal like a quiet signal to those who know what to look for. Then you turn it over, and those wheat stalks appear, framing 1 cent and United States of America. Simple. Classic. Easy to ignore. But this is exactly where the hidden treasure lives. Because what you're seeing on this specific coin, the rusty tones, the green spotting across the surface, that is not just wear. That is age. That is untouched originality. That is a natural chemical story formed over decades, something collectors call true surface character. And the truth is, once that's gone, it's gone forever. This coin is made from 95% copper, blended with tin and zinc, giving it that unmistakable solid feel. Around 3.11 grams of weight sitting in your palm, about 19 millimeters in diameter, with a thickness that gives it a firm, almost confident edge. It feels like something that matters, but only if you know what you're holding. And most people don't. That's why finding a 1952D wheat penny in fine condition with original surfaces is becoming quietly rare. These coins were not protected. They were used, dropped, scraped, cleaned, and destroyed over decades. The survival rate of coins that still carry their authentic look, the rusty, green-toned surfaces, is shrinking fast. And that's exactly why collectors are paying attention now more than ever. This is where things turn serious. Collectors are not loud about this. They don't make noise. They move quietly, watching auctions, waiting for the right coin to appear. And when it does, the bidding gets aggressive. Fast. Focused. Because they know something most people don't. This is not fiction. Right now, this 1952D wheat penny has reached around $350,190 in today's US market. Let that settle in your mind. A coin people ignore, worth serious money. This is hidden wealth. This is quiet power. This coin is a treasure. And if you have it, you're holding a fortune that could change everything. But listen very carefully, because this is where everything can go wrong. Do not spend this coin. And whatever you do, never clean it. The moment you try to remove those rusty or green tones, thinking you're improving it, you destroy the very thing collectors are looking for. That original surface, that untouched aging, is what proves authenticity. It's what drives value. Clean it, and the silent fortune disappears instantly. If you think you've found one, slow down. Look closely at the date, 1952, check for that D mint mark under the year. Study the surface carefully. Those imperfect colors might be the exact reason it's valuable. And don't guess its worth. Get it professionally graded. Because one small detail, one tiny difference, can turn this coin into life-changing wealth. And here's what's happening right now. Collectors are holding tighter than ever. They're not selling. Supply is shrinking. Demand is rising. And coins like this, in original condition, are becoming harder to find with every passing year. That's how hidden treasure works. It disappears quietly until only a few remain. So now, the question is, how many of these have already slipped through your hands? Because this wasn't just about 3 coins. This was about waking up to what's hiding in plain sight. And if you're still holding on to your change without checking it, you might already be losing a fortune without even realizing it.